Hello, welcome back to SWIMFANS. So, I don't know if you guys have heard of it, okay, but in 1999, all right, they made a movie called The Matrix. We, us three on the show, have watched it. It's all right, you know, but what's more important? It's got some moments. What's more important about the Matrix is that when it came out, it like changed movies forever, and so for like the next 10 years at least, there was a bunch of movies sort of swimming in the wake. You know, like playing with the rubble that the Matrix left behind when it burst onto the scene. Previously, many years ago on the show, we did an episode entitled Matrix Babies, where we talked about a few movies that were very clearly drinking the gamer girl bathwater of the Matrix.
Drinking the Trinity bathwater.
And this year, for our Choose Your Own Adventure episode, we have decided to return to tradition. We're rejecting modernity. We're returning to the Matrix Babies again. So we have 3 new Matrix Baby movies for you. Do we introduce them now or as we go?
Let's do it as we go. I feel like it's not important that you watch these. You know,
it's not important,
especially these 3 in particular.
You don't want to hit pause so you don't get anything spoiled here.
Yeah. God forbid. Especially Craig's.
Yeah. You never know when you click past the menu on Tubi where it appears there are no more films. And you land on mine.
Craig's movie is on the secret last page of Tubi. You have to do the Konami code to activate the final listing.
You have to do a DVD style Easter egg to unlock Craig's movie.
Exactly.
Okay, so for this year for Matrix Babies 2, I'm going to go first. The Josh path. All right, for this Choose Your Own Adventure, we are talking 2006 Kurt Wimmer film Ultraviolet, starring Mila Jovovich.
I picked this one because you did Equilibrium, and this is like the follow-up.
It's the same director. It's worse somehow. Anyway, so I don't want to bury the lead. All right, so if you haven't seen Ultraviolet, very briefly, Mila Jovovich plays a woman named Violet. Get it?
Checks out.
She is so someone tried to make a super soldier serum to make better, stronger soldiers, but instead it just made them into vampires instead. So they have some of them reportedly have light sensitivity. This isn't shown in the film, but apparently they're sensitive to light. They have long canine teeth, and they're stronger than regular people, and that's really the only difference. They're called hemophages. All right. They're not called vampires. They're called hemophages. Interestingly, they don't drink blood. So why they're called hemophages? The root word for blood, hemo, and the root word phage for eat. Why they're called blood eaters? We don't know because they don't drink blood. They're not that kind of vampire. Doesn't matter. Moving along. So humanity hates the hemophages, right? So they have begun like a years-long extermination campaign, murdering them left and right. And there's only a few of them left, most notably Violet. So right at the start of the film, Violet raids the Arch Ministry, which is, I guess, like the new United States. The world building is very foggy. It's like the new United States' religious theocracy type deal, whatever. So she has stormed into the Arch Ministry to get a secret weapon that the humans are developing that will, kill the hemophages once and for all. She gets away with it against all odds. As this is happening, we get her backstory, right? She was like a regular nurse. She has like a Nurse Ratched haircut, and I'm not kidding, because that's to signify being a nurse. Mm-hmm. So she gets splashed with hemophage blood, which turns her into a hemophage. She's pregnant at the time, and Hemophages are in no uncertain terms sent to concentration camps where they're like Mengele style, like experimented on. So she's getting shock treatment. And although they bring her back, the baby that she's carrying is not brought back. So this is the reason why she hates humans, because women can only hate things if it results in the death of a child. So this is how she became who she is. She steals this weapon. She somehow gets it out of the Arch Ministry. She opens the case, and it's like, stay with me here. So it's a very small case, all right, but there's like a dimensional portal inside the case, and inside of the case is like an 11-year-old boy. So the 11-year-old boy apparently has some sort of like antigen inside of his body, again, that will kill all hemophages. So they're like, all right, well, her boss is like, let's ice the kid. And she's like, you can't kill the child. Maybe they can reverse engineer a cure for hemophagia out of the kid's blood. So she's protecting the kid. The Arch Ministry and now her former allies are all trying to get her to kill this kid. She like dodges them a bunch. They like sort of bond. Like it's very clear that this is just supposed to be like a surrogate child for her. Because he's about 11. She lost her child about 11 years ago. Women only have child-based motivations. There's really, the math is very simple here. Yeah, she's trying to keep him safe. She brings him to like her techie vampire friend, who's like, okay, can you get the antigen out? Can we reverse a cure? And it's like, no, actually, he doesn't have a vampire antigen in him. He has a human antigen that will kill all humans instead. And Violet's like, but why would the humans make a human antigen that would just kill them? Right. So she goes to see the vice cardinal, Ferdinand Daxis, who has been appointed president of Earth. This is all real. All right. So she goes to see Ferdinand Daxis, and he's like, give him to me, give me the boy. And she's like, over my dead body, literally. So she fights what the movie tells you is 700 soldiers to protect the child. What you learn only from Daxis is that the child has like this antigen is also like a very aggressive like protein unraveling that's going to kill the kid in like hours. So essentially, when the kid was activated from the case, he had a timer that ticks down, and he had about 8 hours to live. So he's sort of nearing like the end of his life. So stay with me here because it gets confusing. So they storm the Arch Ministry. She kills many guys. Then the movie just cuts to them on like a playground. Okay. And so they quite literally just walk away from the conflict. So they go to a playground instead where they're playing until his like timer runs out. And then in the last second, importantly, she cries one tear that lands on the boy's face. The Arch Ministry regains the boy's corpse. She narrowly escapes death. She goes back, to the Arch Ministry because she has like a brain blast when she realizes, oh, he's not dead because I cried on him, turning him into a hemophage. It's because it's that contagious of a virus. So his human antigen would no longer be killing him. So Violet has one final like extended action set piece where she kills more guys. She finally kills Daxis. And then the movie ends with Violet and the little boy who is now a vampire. They're like, well, maybe we can find a cure after all and survive. You might be thinking, hey, Josh, that's a lot of world building for a movie. And I'm here to tell you this movie is like 87 minutes long. This movie is not an hour and a half. So it is a lot of exposition, a lot of Mila Jovovich doing voiceover. None of it matters. None of it is consequential. It's all wasted time.
That might be a recurring theme tonight.
Yeah. The elegance with which The Matrix wove its world building into the story that moves it along and also keeps it popping is lost on these movies. This movie's really just poorly done. It looks really bad. Like, I really can't explain to you. This movie came out in 2006, and Kurt Wimmer has opted for an entirely like CGI vibe for this movie. It does not work. It's like if Spy Kids was even worse looking. There is an extended set piece around like the first 20 minutes of the movie where she is like doing like a bike chase through a city, and the entire city is 3D generated. It looks like Code Lyoko. It is so low res.
Toxic music video.
Yeah, it is so low res. All of the buildings are untextured. It is so not representing reality in any meaningful way. It's crazy they did it this way. It aged like milk that was already spoiled when you bought it. It's so bad. What really sucks is that I would say on average, maybe every 5 to 10 minutes, there's like a cool concept or like a shot that doesn't suck, because like when they do go to practical sets, like they seem to like back end the practical sets. They don't look bad. Like there's one scene where Violet is fighting all of these guys in white, and the door at the end of the hall is like a big red cross, and you really can't miss with red and white together, in my humble opinion. The only problem is that like it's a room full of guys in all white, she's in all white, and she's stabbing them with a katana, and they're not bleeding. And I'm like, this was the reason to put them in all white, was that they would bleed, and then there would be blood on the formerly white. So like, I don't know what they were thinking. But this is the thing, is that like it's not even all wasted effort, because there are again, I would say maybe like 6 or 8 times during the runtime of the movie where like you'll get like a concept, like she can like digistruct like her samurai sword and her guns out of like a pocket dimension in her hands. And actually, I think that visual effect kind of worked. It worked pretty well. I would say that aged a lot better than other VFX in the movie. I think it's cool. It gives it like sort of a kinetic way that she can like switch weapons and whatever. So like, I mean, there are moments that I think could have been good in a better movie, but it's like crazy boring, which is wild for a movie about like a vampire icing a bunch of like guys in gas masks. Like you would think that would be sort of interesting all on its own. It's crazy boring. The fact that it's like about like quote unquote vampires is insane, because they don't do, again, they're in daylight all the time. There's nothing vampiric. They don't drink blood. They're out in daylight. It's really just that they have fangs and that they're stronger than average humans, which like that could just be like anything else, right? By the way, all of the actors with the fangs, some of them worse than others, they have to talk around the fangs, and it's very obvious that they're just sort of talking around the fangs a little bit, which I don't blame them for, but you know, bless their hearts, they were so unnecessary. Just pop them out. Yeah, it's just it's like a movie that is this gutsy, because I mean it is gutsy. Like they definitely tried something. They wanted to do something. Like the entire opening sequence is like they commissioned like comic book covers of, because this is like an original property, but they wanted to make it feel like it's like a comic book adaptation of something. So they commissioned a bunch of comic covers to open the movie, and it's like Violet's like adventures, right? And, you know, they do the opening credits over these comic covers, which, you know, of course they have to make it like a little racist. So it's like Domo Arigato, Violet. Is like the name of the it's like the name of this issue. But yeah, because this is still very much like a Blade Runner style envisioned future. So like I mean there was this idea that, you know, she's this sort of like action hero pulled right out of the comic books, but it's just completely. She really has nothing to do. Again, her motivations are that she lost her child and now has a new child to like. There's this insane like plot out of nowhere that I think must have just been like an artifact from an earlier draft, where her like techie vampire friend like saves her life, and she's like, "Why did you save me? I was finally going to die." And he's like, "Isn't it obvious? Because I love you." And this is like the ninth line he's had in the movie. It's just like it's a complete like train wreck. Even like a lot of the action is quite repetitive because Violet just like there's like 3 scenes where she does that anime thing where like she like kills a bunch of guys with a sword in like a blink of an eye. You know what I mean? That happens like 2 or 3 times. And they aren't particularly gnarly because it's a PG-13 movie, so you don't even get like a fun visual payoff for that. So the action becomes quite repetitive quite quickly. If you've seen her in Resident Evil, it's like the same style of action, I think. Like I think Alice and Violet are kind of the same lady. She has like this thing where she like color changes. like she's called Ultraviolet because sometimes her hair turns purple. And I was watching and I'm like, why is it happening? Because it'll just happen intermittently. And Matt was like, well, maybe it's like a mood ring. And I think he's right because there's no other rhyme or reason. Because it's not just her hair, it's also her coat. And at one point it's her whole bodysuit. So I think it's just like, a mood ring, I guess. Like I don't really know. Yeah, I mean, like Equilibrium was pretty bad. Equilibrium was pretty bad. I feel that Kurt Wimmer has a lot of strong feelings, which, you know, rightly so in the present era, about authoritarianism because it's like the sort of theocratic future that is offered in Equilibrium is kind of more or less what's in Ultraviolet, except for even more half-hearted somehow. So he seems quite afraid of like a religious like ethno state kind of deal. And maybe he's right to be. Who knows? But it's the same kind of deal there. This movie. So the rough cut. I found this interesting. The rough cut for this movie was like a little over 2 hours. I don't know how it got down to 87 minutes, but I think 2 hours would have really benefited the movie. So there was like an extended edition that added like, of those like 2 hours, folks, the extended edition adds back in like 7 minutes. So like it's kind of silly. And that edition didn't exist for a long time because I think there was some rule with Sony where they didn't have like NC-17 rated content on like Blu-ray releases. So that cut didn't exist for a while, but I think now you can watch the Ultraviolet that's like 94 minutes long if you so choose.
Does it restore all the uncut penetration from it? Like what in it would change that much?
I have to imagine like it's got to be gore, right? But even like how much gore are you adding in 7 minutes to make? This is where Violet vivisects a child. So there's a slightly longer version. It sounds like the production was quite tortured as well. It seems that Mila Jovovich at some point in her contract had a part of her rider was that she gets to be involved in the editing of the film. And it turns out that she was completely shut out from the editing of the film. So Mila Jovovich was not happy. And again, there's really no reason to watch this unless you want to see Mila Jovovich looking hot. Right. Because that's the only thing that we have.
That's the draw.
That's the whole thing, guys. So they did not give it to her. I mean, just sort of an interesting birth with this movie. They made an anime tie-in,
like the anime,
produced by Madhouse.
They did the Animatrix.
They did, but instead of like a collection of short films, which suits the Matrix, chocolate and peanut butter, the Ultraviolet anime is like just a different story in the riveting Ultraviolet universe. Like I think like the kid isn't in it. It's like a completely different like vampire adjacent story.
I mean, they built the world.
They built the world, but they built it so half-heartedly that it's like, so just make a new world. At this point, I would if I was at Madhouse, all right, I'd be like, this shit sucks. We're gonna do Ghost in the Shell again, and it's gonna be the same thing. A couple other just small things that I found amusing. So in order to sort of give this movie visual language, again, you'll recall that like it's heavily CGI, and quite bad CGI at that. They have also chosen, for a reason that I'm not sure, to give everybody like the season 1 RuPaul's Drag Race like Vaseline over the lens filter. Everybody's very airbrushed. So like and the movie loves these closes on Mila Jovovich because she's pretty, and she looks cool. So the camera will spend a lot of time close to her, and you can just tell that like you can't see, you're not seeing the plane of where the edge of her nose would be visible. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Where like where the light and shadow would catch to define the edge of a nose. You're not seeing that. It's just Vaseline smooth.
It's just just nostrils, if I remember correctly.
It's just not, and I can't imagine why they did that. Like, it doesn't make it look more futuristic. It doesn't make it look better. I think it must be to like cover up flaws in the movie, but it didn't cover them up. It just made more flaws.
We've talked about it before. The planes hit the buildings, and then cinema lost all sense for a decade. I think that applies here.
Megan drank her apple juice, and the movie's just stopped for a while. The final like fun like little thread to this is that in 2004, when the movie was like announced, the trailer for Ultraviolet I think leaked online, so like early forum days. And this is the amazing part of a decentralized internet, is that the trailer leaked, and Kurt Wimmer went on to various forums to demand that the trailer be taken down.
That's so
as not to spoil Ultraviolet. And it's so funny to imagine Kurt Wimmer signing up to the various webcomic forums that I hung out on to be like, please take down my Ultraviolet trailer. Yeah, it's very bad. The plot is nonsensical. The pacing is ridiculous. The acting is fine, but only because there's like 3 people in the movie and they're all like adequate. The action is repetitive, which should be like, that's a death knell for an action movie. Like, how can you not make 5 differently exciting action, especially if your movie's only 84 minutes long? Like, how is that not possible? Pretty much nothing about it is successful, and it's just a shame that every so often you get like a moment where there's like a cool concept or visual. 1.5 stars. I hated every second of it. Mila Jovovich deserves better.
So I have seen this one, and the only thing I remember is that one, just floating nostrils on her face because it's so blown out. And then I also remember there was like a gunfight where it kept zooming into people's sunglass reflections to instead of cutting.
Terrible. So, okay, I left this out of the plot summary because they don't matter. There's another faction. All right, so you've got the hemophages and the whatever the vice cardinal is in charge of, the arch ministry. So those are the main factions. But then, all right, you have the Asian faction, who are these like Chinese business guys, I guess. Like, I don't know what their alliances are. I don't know their reason for being. It's that they want to stop her. And it's a scene where Violet is speaking Chinese to like the main part of this gang, and they're all wearing, like you said, the same sunglasses. All right, so they've got her surrounded, and because she can't lose a fight, she barely even takes any hit point damage in this movie. She dodges every bullet. And yeah, so the bullets will fly towards the sunglasses, and you know that Wimmer thought he was very cute for this.
Yeah,
the bullets like the bullets would like fly at this like third faction that have no reason for being in the movie because they didn't give them anything to do or any motivation or like any understanding into their structure of the city. So the bullets will fly at their matching orange sunglasses, and yeah, like Jennifer said, when they'll hide the cut as the bullet goes through the sunglass, so it's just like very disorientingly bullets flying at various angles into other men's orange sunglasses until finally there's a wide shot and there's a bunch of dead guys surrounding Violet. And that sounds like that could conceivably be cool. It's not. It's very unsatisfying. There's no physicality to it.
It's because there's like an establishing shot of her being like surrounded by guys all pointing guns at her in like a circle, and it's like, okay, they're just gonna shoot each other then. Like there's no like it's a have you shot a gun? like have you like do you know what happens when you shoot a gun? And it's like you're going to probably miss her and hit your friend or something. Like
it's not good
it's
firearm
nonsensical
safety. Yeah, and it there's this whole thing about how like this is New Earth. I don't even know if it's supposed to be America really, but it's like it's New Earth. And a lot of the signs and the text are in. This movie cannot decide if it's a Chinese run society or a Japanese run society. It really goes back and forth. Anyway, you would think a faction that are the only people of color in the entire movie, you would want to give them a reason to be there, an understanding of their place in the society. No, they have 5 minutes, most of which is spent in sunglass reflections. And then they're never brought up again. I don't get it. 1.5 miserable stars.
Thank you for your report.
My pleasure.
Should I go next?
If you'd like.
So my movie was Karen Kusama's AEON FLUX with Charlize Theron.
Oh man.
And I love the show AEON FLUX. It's like weird and it's off-putting. It's hard to follow. It's occasionally grotesque, but it's like captivating to watch. I had a big AEON FLUX phase in college when I had like bought the DVDs and I would like show them to people, and it was like pretty divisive. Like some people would love it, some people would hate it. But I chose it for myself just because I have such a history with the show, and I know that this is like no one likes this movie. I just so, and like I've heard the reputation, like it's nothing like the show, and if I approached it in the same way, I knew I'd also be disappointed by that. So I wanted to try to approach it in a different way. So I thought maybe through the eyes of being a fan of Karen Kusama, who directed like Jennifer's Body, and maybe then I could get like an into it or something. So I watched her 2000 debut film Girl Fight, which is like an activity movie about a young Michelle Rodriguez who gets into boxing, and it's pretty solid. I was feeling good about my direction, so I went into AEON FLUX. Okay, so it's the year 2415. In 2011, a horrible virus wiped out 99% of the population in the world. But the good child family devised like a cure for the virus, and they gained so much power by doing that they were able to like erect Bregna, a walled city where like they rule everything. There's a very long voiceover. Actually, I have like the first act of this thing is like it's just chopped to hell. It's very strange. There's a bunch of voiceover, like just to try to like fill you in on all of the dynamics that you just need to understand to like comprehend the movie. And similarly to Josh's movie, this movie's like 85 minutes long. Like it's not an extended experience by any means, but there is also a lot of world building here. So like KGB shit is going on. People keep disappearing. Everyone has like this vague sense of paranoia and sadness, but they ultimately live in comfort. But there's an understanding that they gave up freedom for their lives. But not everyone has bought into the system. There are those that value their freedoms and fight back against the good childs using sabotage, terrorism, and whatever. And those are the people of Monica, the Monicans.
Let's go, Monica.
So first up, AEON FLUX walks in this Mugler outfit that I think I saw on like a late 90s Helmut Newton photo. It's the one with like the black sheer hood and leather coat. It's a fucking hell of a look. And she walks up to like a white guy who has like a real kind of like Mike Shinoda 2002 vibe. They start like making out, and then like AEON FLUX licks a pill from the inside of his mouth into hers, and then you see like a 3D X-ray of the pill falling into her stomach, and then it like expands out into like a Jimmy Neutron brain blast inside of her head, and we see like a cyber convent or something. Like an all-white room, and she's being given her mission by Frances McDormand, who is like the head cyber nun or something. This thing isn't really explained until much later. It's sort of like this is like their version of like the codec from Metal Gear Solid. Like this is how they communicate to each other wirelessly. They have like a VR chat convent or something that they can just jack into whenever they want. She's given this mission by Frances McDormand. She walks into a building, and then there's another flashback, I think. It was hard to tell what was happening like in the past, because she goes on like 2 missions in the movie. She goes on a mission in the first act, which like sets everything up, and then she goes on a mission in the second act, and I think she was getting orders for the second act before she did the first one. It was very strange. But we see a flashback again, and she's meeting up with her sister, Una Flux. And her sister's like, oh my God, Eon, I'm so excited for you to come to this dinner. You're going to meet my boyfriend. And then Eon's like, actually, I can't because I have terrorism to do. And I really wanted you to come do terrorism with me. And her sister is like, just buy into the system. Why do you have to be so judgmental about it? And they have that conversation, you know, and then they kind of like push it aside, and her sister is like, Eon, I have a surprise for you, but you have to come to the dinner tonight in order to get it. And so it cuts to her mission that night, and Eon is sneaking into like a compound, and for some reason she's wearing like an all-white bodysuit, which seems like would make her just like 1,000,000 times more visible, but it doesn't matter. She just kills all the guards anyway and gets into the building. It was actually kind of cool. There are a lot of ideas that they kind of like that are informed by the show. Because the show has like a heavy emphasis on like this sort of like really organic technology that operates in like strange and unusual ways. And like when that stuff is actually pretty strong in the movie, when it tries to kind of approximate that thing. So the building that she sneaks into contains this big pool of water. And inside of the water is like surveillance footage of everyone in Bregna. And Eon actually sees the conversation that she had earlier with her sister, like in the pool. So she drops this big glowing egg into the pool, and then all of the memories sort of get rippled out of existence, and she just leaves. She sneaks out. Seems easy. Excellent snake.
Bounces.
Yeah. And so we cut to Una Flux cutting up a dragon fruit in her kitchen, and she hears a knock on the door, and it's like it's basically just a gun that kills her. And so Eon walks up to her place in the all white jumpsuit that she just committed a crime in. And she sees guys taking her sister out on a stretcher, and then like following her is like a crowd of people. And they're like, oh, this is how Chairman Goodchild takes care of these Monicans. And then like you see her boyfriend crying, and he like kind of glances at Eon, and he's like, she wasn't a Monican, because they had that conversation earlier.
Sure.
Right. So we get a voice. We get more voiceover from Aeon Flux, where she's like, "I had a family and a life, and now all I have is a mission."
This is just a radio play.
I'm just telling you what happens in this movie.
No. I mean, this movie is like a radio play.
Oh, basically,
yeah.
Like they're so terrified that you won't understand it, even though so much of the movie is abstract visuals. That they just have to drill the fucking story into your head. But anyway, she's haunted by her past or whatever. And she wakes up on the day of mission 2, which is like the rest of the movie, and she gets like a call on her codec, and she's being assigned to kill Trevor Goodchild, who's like the main guy He's like the president or whatever. And she's like, I'm so ready. Frances McDormand grows a flower from her mouth, and it shoots pollen or spores or something, which fly all over AEON Flux and get into her eyes and shit. And what this does is that it implants like a raised map on her arm, like in the skin. Like select parts of her skin hardens, which gives her like the sewer system map that she has to sneak in through. And Eon's like, I need Sithandra with me to help me cross into Bregna. So she's in her black hat suit now. And Sithandra shows up, and she's a woman who has hands for feet. A lot of this is
the hand feet lady.
Yeah,
yes.
A lot of this is from the show. There is a lady with hands for feet in the show. I don't remember if her name is Sithandra or not. It's been like 15 years or something. And then they have to like sneak into the city. There's like a like an alarm voice lady, and it's like, warning, end of civilian zone, do not proceed, and it like repeats over and over. And they dodge a bunch of organic looking traps. Like there's like this nest gun, like it looks like a beehive or something, but it just shoots glass darts out of it. So like Sithandra takes out the nest while Eon slithers across the ground in much the way I assume Bulb does in Duet City Stories, which was 5 years ago now.
Oh my god.
Sithandra gets hit, but they throw a shaft grenade from Metal Gear and it blocks the signal or something, whatever. Eon floors lava styles, flips her way past all of these lawns that have like knives in with the blades of grass, and they both make it. She follows her skin map, and she's like dropping some stuff like Hansel and Gretel behind her. And then we, the audience, meet the Goodchilds. One is Oren Goodchild, who's played by Zero Cool from Hackers. One is Trevor Goodchild, who's like the president guy, and he was in Lord of the Rings. He was Celeborn, Craig, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that's the
Kate Blanchett's husband in Lord of the Rings. Is that
well,
you know what I'm talking?
So Celeborn made the rings of power. Yes, under the undue influence of Sauron. Yeah.
Thank you. I yeah. Hell yeah. And they're having
Frodo, right?
Yeah, totally. And they're having like an evil meeting where they say evil stuff to a table full of bad guys, and Zero Cool's like the hot-headed one, and they're like doing some kind of like testing on people, but Trevor has to leave to do a speech, which is where Eon is supposed to like attack him or like kill him or whatever. And so Eon finds him alone in the auditorium, and she draws a gun and she walks up to him, but he says, Catherine. And then she hesitates, and then she gets like a flashback to like a kiss, and then some guard knocks her out, and so she wakes up in like a concrete cell. Trevor's there talking to her through a glass wall, and Eon's like, "Why did you call me Catherine?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm not gonna tell you," or whatever. In the show, Eon and Trevor's whole deal is that they're on opposite sides of this struggle. But like Trevor desperately wants to fuck Eon. She kind of represents this like freedom that he doesn't have. Eon has like sexual interest in Trevor sometimes, but it tends to more use it to get him to like play himself, basically. And that dynamic is also really fluid and shifts from episode to episode. So it's not like a set thing. So I didn't care too much that it strayed as far as it does. But Trevor leaves. Eon whistles into a vent, which activates all of the stuff that she was like Hansel and Greteling around. It turns it all into marbles, which trace through the halls past like people who were probably like, "What's going on with that?" But whatever. And they go to her cell, blow up a wall, and she escapes. Eon calls Sithandra, and she's like, "Our info's fucked, Sithandra." I'm going off mission, and Zero Cool's trying to do like a coup against Trevor, So he actually leaked the info about when he would be vulnerable that eventually made its way back to Eon. But he's like, why is he still alive? And then he sees a photo of Aeon Flux and he's like, no way, to ramp up this mystery of what's the deal between Aeon Flux and Trevor. Eon meets up with Trevor. They gun flirt for a bit. They fuck. Eon gets up and chokes Trevor till he passes out and finds his office or something and his secret laboratory. She finds a photo of a woman who looks exactly like Eon. She fights a lady. She gets away. The evil council gathers to watch the memory water recording of Trevor fucking Eon, and they decide that Trevor is a traitor to the Monarchans, even though he's like the president or whatever. And so they vote him out, and Oren becomes ruler like he always wanted to anyway. Sort of skimming over this next part, Eon finds proof that Una was targeted for a sample, and she no longer believes that Trevor killed Una. Sathantra's like, why aren't you following orders? They fight. Eon wins and like hogties Sathantra up, and she leaves. She tracks her sister down using like this big blimp computer, which looks like it's out of Dune. It was actually probably the coolest set in the movie, was this sci-fi blimp that had like jellyfish tendrils coming off of it. And she finds that her sister is maybe still alive, and she gets her new address. But she shows up, and she was actually cloned, and she's a baby now. Trevor shows up. Yeah, Trevor shows up, and he explains the whole movie. He's like, so the vaccine that we made caused people to be completely sterile, but they use cloning to keep the human population alive. Anyone who dies is cloned, and so all these people have like weird, vague memories of past lives that they can't really place. Trevor's actually been trying to find a cure for sterility, and that Una was actually pregnant and was probably killed by Oren in like a cover-up, because Oren wants to like maintain power around a cure or whatever. There's a shootout, they escape, kill some more people, escape, Trevor admits that Eon was his wife before the virus took out 99% of the world's population, but they both, survived or whatever. And it goes down between like reincarnations of Trevor. They all like teach each other about Catherine. They get back to Trevor's laboratory. It's all burned to hell. And he's like, damn it, I had actually found the cure. And Eon's like, okay, now that there's a cure, I'm going to blow up this blimp because I don't like what it's doing. And I never really understood her motivation entirely for that. Wasn't really elaborated on why she wanted it so bad. Zero Cool admits that women have actually been getting pregnant again. He's been killing all of them off for power or whatever.
That's fine.
There's like a big standoff between Eon and Trevor and Zero Cool and all the Bregnian police. Sathandra's reported back to the Monarchans, and like they're there to kill, like a bunch of them are there to kill Eon. But Eon jumps on her codec and convinces Sathandra to shoot Zero Cool instead. She's like, you gotta believe me. We were girls together. You gotta do this for me. And so they just start killing each other. I don't know. I think Zero Cool shot Sathandra with a rocket at one point. Eon kills Zero Cool. She goes for the blimp and blows it up, and it crashes, bringing down the wall to the outside world that all the Bregnians are terrified of, and that's the end of the movie. There's not much of a landing at the end of it. It just sort of ends.
Yeah.
And so I had a real bad time watching Aeon Flux for an 80-minute movie or 85-minute movie. It really felt like it was much, much longer. And I was doing some reading about it, and it really seemed like they really fucked over Karen Kusama with this one. I think she was trying to make something that was way more like vibey. like the impression I got from like what the ideal version of this would be like The Cell meets Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon or something. So her first cut was like 2 hours long, and she submitted it, and the executives were like, "This is a $50 million art movie. Like, what did you fucked us?" And so she was fired immediately. And the 2 hour movie was cut down to 70 minutes and actually tested way worse than the original cut. All the execs were like, "We hate your movie. We hate this one more. See what you can do. Also, we won't release your original cut no matter what." So she tried to make it better. I don't think it worked. Right. It seems like this was just hacked to pieces, voiceovers slapped on it, just sort of shuffled along to theaters to die. I did not enjoy my time with AEON FLUX.
So like you with movie of the year Ultraviolet, I did see AEON FLUX when I was but a boy.
Oh, nice.
The only thing I remember, obviously, is the girl who has hands on her feet, because that's kind of cool.
Or Sathandra, whatever. Fucking whatever, man.
The one what has hands on her feet.
Yeah, that's fucked. And good job.
And there's a scene where they're fighting in like a, I don't know, some sort of facility, and the grass is knives. And that's all that I remember from AEON FLUX. I don't remember liking it even as a kid.
No, you were right. It's really bad. There's some moments that are actually kind of visually striking, but a lot of it is like, it's just like a little too CG heavy. Like it just kind of can't sell that they exist in the environments all the time. I know I think they shot it in like Berlin or something, like, and they found all this like weird architecture to shoot it in. So like those scenes look pretty cool, but like occasionally it'll just get plasticky and bad and stuff.
But before we finish off with Craig's incredible movie that I'm sure is really good, I just like what happened like immediately after. Well, I guess 9/11. I don't know what other event it was where they're like, we're afraid of sets. No more physical sets. I don't know. I don't want to see a brick ever again, unless it's a pixel brick, in which case I love it. It's just like it's shooting them because they want obviously to be the Matrix, and it's like even like a movie that kind of sucked ass like Dark City got a lot of mileage out of just having sets. Just have sets.
Absolutely, yeah.
I feel crazy.
Well, 2002 was Attack of the Clones, and I remember that was like it was sold like one of the selling points of it was that like, no, this is like they're in CG worlds now. Like we have the technology to completely get rid of sets. It's just green screen from now on, baby.
And it was bad, and everybody hated it.
Yeah.
That like, listen, I'm not even a Star Wars person. Like, God, I don't ever want to hear about another fucking lightsaber in my life. But that the prequel apologia that's been going around is crazy. Those movies are dog shit.
They're terrible.
Those movies are terrible.
They
were bad
especially
when
Attack
they
of
came
the
out.
Clones. Even I was like 11 or something when I saw that, and I was like, this sucks. Luke Hara, you are wrong. That was a kid I went to school with who was way into Attack of the Clones. That was just genuinely like unpleasant, and I remember because just being disappointed, just leaving the theaters in like, why didn't I love that? Which would very famously happen to me the next year with The Matrix Revolutions. Anyway,
well, thank you for your reporting.
Anytime.
I'm the one who hated the show. By the way, AEON FLUX is so unpleasant to behold.
Yeah. It's you gotta be in a certain mood for that show. I think it shreds. I think that show is incredible, but I get why everyone is like, ew. All right, Craig.
So if one isn't familiar with Uwe Boll, he is the man you want to call if you really need a tax write-off. Maybe you own a bowling alley that you can't afford the property tax on, and it catches on fire. This is a man that has adapted some of the worst video games into the worst movies on the planet. the only explanation for his box office bomb after box office bomb is that there's some sort of insider trading insurance fraud happening. There's no other reason to explain his career or the film that I was tasked with watching, which was 2005's BLOODRAYNE, based on the video game of the same name. And I started off, not knowing anything about it. I didn't play the games. I didn't know anything. But the credits began rolling, and it's like, starring Kristanna Loken. I don't know who that is, but when I Googled her, she's Terminator 3. She's the sexy Terminator.
And she's the Terminatrix.
She's a Terminatrix, exactly. And it's like, okay, all right, I'm on board. Bam, Michelle Rodriguez, Michael Madsen. I'm like, okay, what are you doing outside of a Quentin Tarantino movie? Billy Zane. Actually, it's like special appearance from Billy Zane. I'm like, was it hard? Was it hard to get him? Udo Kier, which is maybe the most fucking baffling person in this film. Meatloaf. All right? Meatloaf. The Meatloaf.
What the fuck?
All your
Ben
favorites
Kingsley.
are here.
Yeah, all your favorites are here, and they've been implicated. This fucking movie. So it's actually quite simple. I mean, much like the two of you, we have a female protagonist. Though this is shot entirely in Romania on location. I'm sure there's like some sets in here. And $25 million budget with a $3.7 million return.
Whoa. Actually, interestingly, I've been keeping track. The box office returns have gone down for each of them. So technically, Ultraviolet made its money back. I saw that AEON FLUX did not quite. There was a loss of like $3 million.
Yeah.
And now we see that BLOODRAYNE had a $22 million loss.
Jesus. Well, what were they doing adapting BLOODRAYNE? Like this fucking PS2 Majesco slop. Like, Jesus fucking Christ.
It's also funny because apparently Billy Zane owned or was affiliated with a production company charged with the distribution of this film into theaters. And it was supposed to end up in like 2,500 theaters, and it only ended up in like 1,600. And then Uwe Boll sued Billy Zane. Lots of great things. The woman that wrote this, Guinevere Turner, she wrote American Psycho. All right, so it's like, shit, we got the American Psycho lady. She turned in this script 2 weeks late.
Nice.
And so it didn't give them Uwe Boll any chance to kind of like respond to it. So essentially what he did is he passed the buck to all the actors and was like, just vibe, just feel it out.
Really explore.
Again, it's a tax shelter film.
Exactly. Exactly. I need this fucking horse out of this race. I need something is happening. Some kind of like just bizarre financial instrument is being exercised here by some sort of insurance loophole.
I kind of know what the loophole, but I think it was a German tax like a tax thing. Where like any money you invested in a film production, if it didn't make it back, you would just get it. The government would just pay the entire thing back to you. So there was like no financial risk in investing in movies for a while. And then Uwe Boll is probably the reason why they closed that rule as well, because just sort of just enabled him to make shit.
It's fucking free real estate.
Yeah, pretty much. They should bring it back. We need weirder movies again.
All right. So Terminator 3. She's playing Rain here. Again, it's the titular character's name, BLOODRAYNE, and you'll notice later on that Rain It could be rain, as in it's raining, or it could be rain as though one is reigning over a kingdom. It's
Slayer
there's a lot there.
explored the entirety of this concept 20 years before this movie came out.
So Rain is she's a half-sea. She's Blade. She's a human that is half human, half vampire. So she doesn't have a thirst for human blood, although she can and does drink human blood. Although it can be supplemented just as well with animal blood, making her a prime candidate for one of these insane TikTokers that just eat sticks of butter and ground beef. That's what a damn fear is, in case you're curious. So, diminished thirst for blood, unaffected by crucifixes. So she's wearing a giant, garish crucifix that she's given by a friend the entire film, and she's not affected by it, and is weak to holy water. So if we're paying attention, this is someone that is weak to holy water, can eat animals, and is fine with crucifixes. So, like, again, if she doesn't get splashed by holy water, she's doing fine. Rain is the daughter of Ben Kingsley, who plays Kagan. He's a vampire king, and he has like an army of lackeys, and he wants to annihilate the human race for a reason that's never really stated. It seems kind of like a bad play if you're dependent on their blood to live. Rain was conceived when her father, Kagan, raped and killed her mother, which Rain is very much aware of. So she's this kind of the movie doesn't explain these gaps, but we see her in kind of where the film's set. She's a circus animal. They trot her out. They'll burn her. They'll cut her, and then they'll force her to drink animal blood, and the crowd can watch her wounds heal. So she's a circus freak that eventually escapes. Immediately she knows the deal. She's like, I gotta kill Kagan. She's a one-track mind. She's just, I gotta kill Kagan. And in kind of keeping with the Terminator 3 vibe, they don't allow Rain to speak during this film. She's given probably like a dozen or so lines in the entire runtime, which is actually great because the actress is not good when she talks. So Sebastian, Vladimir, and Katerin are members of what are called the Brimstone Society. So we have Michael Madsen, this fucking guy that I don't know, and then Michelle Rodriguez. They've dedicated their lives in some way or form to this monastic life of killing vampires. And they're like, oh shit, there's this new type of vampire. Let's go kill her. But Michael Madsen's like, whoa, wait. She's good, actually. She's one of the good ones. She wants to kill other vampires. We need to connect. We need to make a little. We need to make this Three Musketeers into a Four Musketeer situation, which is all good for Michael Madsen, all good for the other male player because he's horny, extremely horny for Rain. Rain is dressed in the tightest outfit that you've ever seen. It's it's a black number that's very revealing, that has these red accents, and the entire film she's dual wielding blades. She's kind of like, it's almost as though like two billy clubs became like knives, which actually seems really cumbersome. They group together. Again, Michelle Rodriguez is very, very skeptical, is not a fan of this whole we are allying ourselves with vampires, which is deeply, profoundly hypocritical because Michelle Rodriguez's father, played by Billy Zane, himself a vampire. That's right, Billy Zane, who appears in 45 seconds of this film. And what he's doing is he's leaning over a balcony, all right? He's leaning over a balcony. He's dressed and styled like he's about to sign the fucking Constitution. He has the worst fucking wig on. And this moment's played for comedy. I don't know why. And he's dictating a letter. And he's like, to my fucking shitty daughter, Michelle Rodriguez, I fucking hate you. Also, can we be friends? I think we need to let bygones be bygones. Also, fuck you, you little bitch. I need you to get me this special. I need you to find me a vampire organ. Thanks. Love your father. And then he has the scribe clean it up with all the shit that he said that was negative. So it's a little convoluted. I'm gonna get to that in a little bit. Suspecting that again that she's a Dampier, the Kagan is like, oh shit, like my daughter's back. This thing that I created that I know is my undoing has returned, and so he's sending hitters out to get her. Rain is tasked by an oracle with seeking a talisman. And that talisman is actually an ancient eye from a vampire that his eye prevented him from being burned by holy water. His rib prevented him from being affected by crucifixes. And his heart prevented him from being affected by sunlight, if I'm understanding that correctly. So Rain goes to this monastery. And there's there's a boss. There's an old haggard vampire with a big mallet in the basement, and this is where you first see the absolutely, and I mean, when one is talking negatively about a film that they really didn't enjoy, that had a lot of faults, there's a lot of room for, again, like a hyperbolic talk that, oh, this is like the worst X I've ever seen. This is the worst Y I've ever seen. This is the worst fight choreography I have ever seen. There was an understanding, like when we were in high school, making like karate adaptations of fucking Beowulf, of continuity of action, right? When someone kicks, they fall. When someone punches, there's impact. This movie is delirious. It's trying to befuddle the audience by throwing in little quick cuts that they think serve as like continuous action of like blows landing, and so on and so forth. None of them connect. There's not a single instance of an action moment where there's a semblance of choreography or kind of the art of beings or players kind of in combat with each other. They didn't hire anyone for it. There's no way. There's absolutely no way. So it's dog shit. She finds the eye, and she's like, oh shit, well, I got the eye. Oh no, wait, hold up. This whole chamber, Indiana Jones style, starts filling up with holy water. Her one thing that she just cannot be killed by, or she actually is affected by as a Dampier. And wouldn't you know it, the eye magically gets absorbed into her, and she falls in the water unaffected, now being immune to holy water. And the thing with these talismans, so she's got the eye, so we've got collectibles happening here, so this is very video gamey. The rib. The rib is something that she will use as or something that Kagan has already collected. So shit, he's got the rib. The heart, however, remains in play, and that's how the plot sort of continues here. This is where she meets Udo Kier at the end, having retrieved the eye, and he's like, "You absolutely cannot leave the monastery. That eye, we've been guarding it for generations and generations to prevent the world's most powerful vampire, and you absolutely can't leave." Udo Kier is immediately killed, and all of the monks are immediately killed by Kagan's forces. So she gets free and is on to, again, collecting this heart. So in order to collect the heart, she has to find it, of course. The only person that knows where it is, and the reason that Billy Zane has beseeched Michelle Rodriguez is to get this heart. Michelle Rodriguez, being like having a blood feud with her father, is immediately convinced by this shitty ass letter we should let bygones be bygones, you little you bitch. Even though you went with your mom in the divorce proceedings, get it for me. Michelle Rodriguez, she knows the cave where it was kept because her grandfather put it there to protect it from the vampire or whatever. I'm actually going to stop here for a second. Vampires in this film are not afforded any of the cool things that vampires in other media are afforded. They're not more powerful than anyone else. They seem to be so they can be dispatched by pretty much any method that you would normally kill a human being. Like Michael Madsen is like low effort slicing people's vampires' throats, and they're just done. They're just over with. They're getting stabbed. They're not super powerful. They don't have the crazy strength. They can't fly. They're not sending their victims into fits of madness, a la Nosferatu. There's really nothing that disambiguates a vampire from a human, other than the fact that they occasionally bite people in the neck. So the line between Damphir, which Rain is, to vampire, it's a human, is really it doesn't matter. It truly doesn't matter. Michelle Rodriguez is cave diving for this fucking heart. Rain catches her. Rain enters a cave, and Michelle Rodriguez explains to her lackeys, "Yeah, I'm like fucking bad now. I'm like really. I've actually like I'm bad now. I'm gonna give my father the heart, and I'm gonna kill the fuck out of Rain, and I'm bad now." And Rain's like, "Oh shit." So she dives in with Michelle Rodriguez, just easily dispatches Michelle Rodriguez, just kills her underwater, heaves her body up onto the shore, drinks her blood, gets the heart, calls it a day. Rain is like, "Oh shit, so I have all these things, I have the heart, I can now get an audience with my father." So that was like the whole point, is like I can get an audience with my father. But Michael Madsen and the remaining twink guy are like, "No, she can't do it alone. She thinks she's powerful or whatever. No, we have to help her. And immediately all three get arrested. They're all thrown into the fucking dungeon. At a certain point, Rain has sex with the twink guy. Folks, again, hyperbole is something that, again, it's easy in a situation like this. You have never seen a titty sucked and licked with less effort and less joy and jouissance here.
No joie de vivre at all.
It's truly as though this is a perfunctory act. There's a perfunctory act of sucking on a titty so that we can simply advance the plot. Sorry. It's inconsequential, but I want to bring it up. Meatloaf. At some point, they all go to Meatloaf's house. This happens way before they get thrown in the stocks at Kagan's castle. They go to Meatloaf's house. Uwe Boll apparently couldn't afford extras, but could afford sex workers. So there are actual sex workers hanging out with Meatloaf in his house, and a twink guy shoots out the stained glass of Meatloaf's house, getting light inside, and Meatloaf burns to a crisp. That's Meatloaf. That's what Meatloaf did in this movie. Okay, so we're fast forward again. Back in the stocks. They do the fucking Metal Gear Solid 1 thing where it's like, "Oh shit, like something happened to my friend. Like there's ketchup. I got ketchup everywhere. Otacon gave me ketchup, and I'm bleeding here. Help me." And they get free. Rain has been summoned to the chamber of Kagan to have her heart and eye ritualistically removed. Oh, sorry. The heart is in a box. The eye has been absorbed into her. The eye being ritualistically removed so that Kagan can have all three parts, so that he can be the big bad vampire. Ben Kingsley is not even doing his fucking accent. Ben Kingsley is doing some kind of vague Eastern European, like just
Hell
vagary. The man, like, literally, I think he had a clause in his contract where it's like, I'm not standing up. Like, I'm not standing up. Like, I want to be seated. I want to be seated this entire film. He's just sitting in a throne room. Clearly, you know, it's one of those situations where they only had Kingsley for like 2 days. So they had to, like, you know, film him, film everything, like, around his schedule. Kingsley is, you know, about to do the vivisection to get the eye to complete all the 3 parts so he can be the master vampire. And then, bam, our brash humans break in. They're killing vampires. Rain gets free from her shackles. You know, they valiantly fight. Everything is delirious. Everything is nothing is making sense. Who is fighting who at any given point in time? Who's winning? I swear to God, like, I saw Michael Madsen and the Twink get killed multiple times before they actually sustain mortal injuries. So at a certain point, everyone's down. Everyone's down except for our 2 last standing. It's Kagan versus Rain. All right, she's got her 2 dual-wielded fucking knives. Kingsley is fencing with one arm behind his back, which seems like really, like, just bad strategy for someone who's, like, dual-wielding. I feel like they have an advantage almost necessarily. Kagan goes down with, like, almost little to no friction. Again, it's staged really, really poorly. All the Foley effects also sound tinny. So it's when like you know, when Kingsley's, like, hitting her sword with his, like, little fence, little like, you know, the after school, like, when he did the fucking fencing, you know, it's just like a little, like, little pole that doesn't actually have a point on it. It's like ting, ting. It's like the sound that, like, a tin can makes in a Looney Tunes cartoon. Kagan goes down. You know, she says, like, this is for my mother who you raped, if the audience forgot that. And then he dies. The 2 mortal men, Michael Madsen, you know, Michael Madsen says his kind of farewells. Her Twink, that, you know, very anemically licked her breast 20 minutes ago, is like, no, don't bite me. I want to die. I've completed my life's journey, which was killing the master vampire, and I don't want to live forever as a vampire. And she's like, okay. She's not, like, particularly broken up about it. And then she sits down on the throne, and now she's the queen vampire. And then the credits roll.
Craig. I know it's not your fault, Craig. It's this is such a slab movie. This is such a slab mindset type feature.
A movie born from the slab.
Have you ever been softly pushed up against a disgusting jail door and had your titty licked? Had your titty licked, you know, as though it were, you know, a fucking, you know, one of those, like a jawbreaker. You know, you're not gonna get to, like, the center like anytime soon. You're just gonna kind of, like, you know, you're gonna take your time with it. You're gonna set it aside. You know, you'll get to the whatever's in the middle at some point. Yeah, no, it wants to be sexy. It wants to be salacious. It wants to have vampires, but it doesn't actually know what a vampire is. I can't meaningfully disambiguate.
Oh yeah, forgot to Google it.
Yeah, forgot to Google it. Simply forgot to Google it. What makes it interesting? What creates imbalances of power between, like, a human and a vampire? The inherent sexuality of a vampire is also completely lost. The eroticism of drinking blood, lost. No, this is like a really bad movie, and yeah, no, it's weak. Yeah, it's the word I want to use is anemic. It's low on iron. Ironically, it hasn't consumed red meat in quite some time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could just envision the slab the whole way through that. That's all I can think about. It's terrible.
I'm sorry, Craig.
No, it's all right. I mean, yeah, you know, I've been tantalized and delighted by cousin slab action and incest taboo in the past, and you know, sometimes you just sometimes you just gotta watch BLOODRAYNE. You know, sometimes your homie just makes you watch BLOODRAYNE. I mean, it's 90 minutes long. It looks like they exported it with frame smoothing on. So like everything looks fake, you know. So like even the fact of like having to displace the entire production, all the actors and so on to Romania feels lost because everything feels uncanny and fake. And like one of its like claim to fame is like we shot we shot this scene in a castle where Vlad the Impaler stayed one night, supposedly. And it's like, oh shit, oh man, that's fucking damn, that's spooky. I hope you brought your EVP and your fucking night vision to record the paranormal activity at the fucking Airbnb that Vlad the Impaler stayed at. I'm just so fucking titillated by this.
One time.
Like
if you lived there or something.
Right, exactly. My star rating is 1. It's like, you know, I mean, I feel like there's this is my only kind of predilection. I love Michelle Rodriguez. I think she's fucking fantastic. I love her no matter what she's doing or saying, what production she's in. I think she's fantastic as a person and an actor, and you know, there's something about just having her here that elevated up that half a star to a star. I mean, she's not doing anything like good or remarkable. She's just here, and I like to look at Michelle Rodriguez.
She does rock.
She's so great. She's one of the she's an like she's a jewel. Like we need her.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know much about like how we continue to survive as a civilization or a country or whatever. I know that we need her. I
would argue that we're not surviving, and it's because we don't have enough Michelle Rodriguez movies.
Exactly.
There are no bigger systemic problems. It's just that Michelle Rodriguez is not in enough movies.
Yeah. Make The Assignment 2. I'll let you Google that one.
Well, thank you. This has been another round of movies that are just licking the bag of the Matrix. Just like all the chips are eaten, all the crumbs are gone. You're just trying to get the oil up off the bag. That's what movies like this are.
You're scraping the side of the microwave popcorn bag to get that like fake butter and salt just line your fingertips, and you suck it off.
Yeah, you're sucking on the kernels to try to get a hit. Hit us. I look forward to these every year. So.
No one's complained yet.
No one's complained yet. I look forward to these every year. So we hope that you've enjoyed choosing your own adventure the way that we chose ours. Which way, Western Man? Are you Ultraviolet, AEON FLUX, or BLOODRAYNE? Those are the 3 women you get to be when you grow up.
I mean, to me, these are female empowerment.
Yeah.
We need more of this. We need. This is clearly the only way that you can write a woman. Clearly the only way that you can frame a woman as a kind of like action hero. It's definitely not incompetency on the part of like writers or directors or studios. It's like, no, this is like the only way you can do it, right? The proof is in the pudding. It's not because these are fucking tax write-offs, or a talented filmmaker has been forced by the studio to chop down her film and then put narration over it. No, it's not. It couldn't possibly be because of the fucking insanities of the Hollywood production system.
Well, thank you so much for listening. As always, you can find the show wherever you get your podcasts. Okay, so that's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Wherever you listen, please rate, please review, please subscribe, please tell your friends, please ask a question. Okay, the questions can be asked on Instagram. They can be asked on the Spotify episodes. They can be asked at the email address we have, swimfanspodcast@gmail.com. Send us some questions, folks. We love to hear them. And we also have a Patreon available for all of the behind the scenes, the secret episodes. All right. That's patreon.com/swimfans. For as low as $1 a month, you can get access to all of that. And you can find the show on all the social medias. That is Blue Sky, Instagram, Letterboxd, SwimFans Pod. You can find me at all those same spots. User Amans, AMONNS. Jennifer.
You can follow me on Blue Sky, Diatron5.swimfanspod.com, and I'm on Letterboxd Diatron. Craig.
You can find me at Craig Neeson on Instagram and Letterboxd, CraigNeeson.com.
We might have an erotic thriller next week. Who's to say?
Yeah, I think there's one, and then it's straight to bloodbath.
Hey, look, it's not our fault. you take that up with the Gregorian calendar, motherfucker.
We're really a quote-unquote erotic thriller podcast.
I miss them. About 2/3 through the summer every year, I'm like, God, I wish we were doing erotic thrillers again.
All right, well, we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.